Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons. Welcome to Strange Eons Radio. That is Eric over there.
Hello.
And that is Vanessa over there.
Hello.
And I am Kelly. Hey, you guys know that I am a bit of a shirt whore. I like nice shirts.
Sure.
But nice shirts are expensive. And so I decided to start thinking smart. You know, we have this whole problem of people breaking into, or not even breaking into stores, just walking into stores and stealing stuff, and they're not allowed to be taken to jail for any of this stuff.
Yep.
What do you think they do with those things?
eBay?
I now go onto eBay. I look for the high-end brand that I like in my size. I buy the shirt. $70 new, $9 on eBay. And it comes with a nice little note that says, "Thank you for supporting my small business."
Oh, Jesus.
I'm like, you stole this fucking shirt, but also you're welcome.
But they got those little cards printed up, and sometimes they throw in stickers, so, you know.
Yeah, well, I have gotten some very, very nice shirts, and a lot of them lately for very cheap. So I don't want to encourage people who are out there stealing stuff from stores, but it is happening. And
already have.
Oh, yeah, in Seattle, big time.
I remember Dina for a few years worked for Tommy Bahama.
Oh.
And the discount was ridiculous.
Oh,
I mean, like, they would do these warehouse clearance things, like seasonal ending, and just for employees and family or some shit like that. $5, $10, $15 shirts.
Oh, my God.
If you've ever priced Tommy Bahama, we're talking about a $120 shirt on average. They are insanely expensive. But
Wow.
yeah, that was nice.
That's the way to do it. I've definitely started. I got wise to this whole buying clothing for your baby that will immediately grow out of everything that you put on
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So never spend money on this thing, and started buying them used, which is great because even if it's used, it's probably been worn at most twice.
Right.
Yeah,
So
sure.
getting some really, really nice gear that way for very little money.
Right. So that is your tip of the week. That's a new segment we got here. It's called Kelly Young's Just the Tip.
God. Fuck.
You enjoy that one on your own.
I saw some stuff, guys.
Oh.
That's what we do.
You've
Talk
seen
about
some
stuff
shit?
we've seen.
Excellent.
On Amazon Prime, there is a new Batman cartoon that is from Bruce Timm, who is the creator of the original Batman, the animated series. And this is called Batman, Caped Crusader.
Ooh.
It is pretty dang cool.
Nice.
It is drawn. This Batman looks like he is from the very first Batman comic book. So he's
Real
got
pointy.
pointy ears, and he doesn't have the spikes on his gloves. He's just wearing black gloves that end at his wrist. Alfred is a heavy what do you call it? Manservant type thing that he calls Pennyworth instead of Alfred. And at first I was really put off by this, but I realized that they're going with this original style Batman. And it's
Gotcha.
kind of a, like, DC's version of the multiverse was something called Elseworlds, and this is definitely kind of an Elseworlds thing because the first episode you get the Penguin, but the Penguin is female in this universe.
Oh, okay.
And then at some point you run into Harley Quinn, and it's a different costume and a different looking Harley Quinn and stuff like that. And at first I was a little put off by it, but the show is so interesting that I started getting into it. And they go into a real heavy supernatural episode where he's up against an actual ghost. And I was like, this is a really cool show. It's only 8 episodes.
Wow.
But so far, I'm really loving it. I'm on episode 6, and it is called Batman Caped Crusader.
Okay, my moment to derail, because the other night when I was watching Trap, they had a preview for the new Joker movie with Joker and Harley Quinn. And my thought was, after the first one, him doing all this shit and going and Batman not showing up, okay, fine, is a little bit of a stretch, but it was his first thing. I'm watching this trailer going, what the fuck is Batman? And they're doing massive crimes in this. It's not like the first one where he's sort of, and it looks like they do a throwback to the Dark Knight when he brings in the, not using the gas, but something like that, where he kills a whole group of people because they have a talk show together.
Oh, okay.
In this. And he's doing all this massive shit. I'm going, Batman needs to show up and punch this guy at some point because he is no longer just being a disgruntled taxi driver kind of guy who's causing some shit. He's being a massive disruption in Gotham.
I guess I was under the impression this is a universe that Batman does not exist.
Oh, is that
in.
what it's supposed to be?
I thought so.
I don't know.
I was like one person who did not like Joker.
I'm with you. I thought it's like, yeah, we've seen this before. I get what you're going for. And the whole trend of this person's a bad person, but hey,
right.
Here's why. It's like, you know what? It's a movie. Let them be bad people. It's okay.
Yeah, I could do without these movies. Or if they want to do this, then let's bring in a ultra realistic Batman also.
Yeah.
Just a guy who's bought some, padding and knee pads and shit and puts on a mask and goes out and fights crime and gets hurt. But otherwise, yeah, this glorifying of the Joker, I don't quite get.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. I mean, there's so many Joker versions out there in the comics as well. I feel like we've seen literally every shade of every version of Joker and Harley and Batman now that I'm kind of getting sick of buying them.
Back to our regular scheduled program.
Have I talked about Scavenger's Reign?
I've spoken about it, but I would love to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
All right. So I watched a couple weeks ago and totally forgot to talk about it. Scavenger's Reign, which is the cartoon series about some people who've crash landed on a alien planet. Jesus, that is an incredible show.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's one of the most powerful animated series that I think I've seen in years, and it's just made so lovingly by the biggest science geek out there,
point.
who has like not only insane knowledge of, I don't know, biology and how things might work on a foreign body, but also a great imagination of all the crazy shit that could happen, and every 2 steps you take, you might just die constantly. I just absolutely fell in love with this show.
Yes.
Yeah, me too. What I loved about it so much is they land on this planet, this alien planet, and just this alien planet is so alien. And everything that happens, some of it is like horrific, but none of it is evil.
Yes.
It's just the way this planet works.
Yeah, it's just nature.
Yeah. And I thought it was great. I sure hope there's going to be a second season of this.
That would be incredible. I mean, I don't think they need to do a second season because it's just such a cool, complete story. But at the same time, I would love to revisit this universe or see other planets that they could go to, or how other people encounter this planet, because it has such a diverse space. But one of my favorite things also about it is you think like, oh, you would just instantly die here. But if you're, a scientist who ends up on one of these planets, you might figure out how to harness some of this stuff.
Right.
And they do such cool, weird stuff where, you might pick a flower and then grind it, and then it lets off a gas, and then you can use a leaf to get the gas wrapped up and then fly to the other side of the forest. It's just really magical.
Yeah.
And upsetting.
And such a odd, almost realistic animation style.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool. Very
Yeah.
best of heavy metal kind of
Yeah.
look. It's really, really cool.
There's not an animator, but there's an artist for quite a few comics that uses a similar style to this that I have hated. And every time I see his art style pop up, I'm like, not that fucker again. I hate this, but okay, I guess Robert Kirkman need to hire you. Cool. But no, it reminds me of that, but it's done so well that I really came around to it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's not the same guy at all, but it just has a very similar feel too.
Yeah. Scavenger's Reign. I think it started on HBO Max and you saw it on Netflix. Is that why it just popped up?
Yeah.
moving around the streamers.
Yeah, good.
Let's see. Okay, I watched Caitlin Cronenberg's new film,
Oh.
daughter of the Cronenberg
Right.
empire,
Yeah.
called Humane. It's a dystopian future story where people now walk around with umbrellas lined with aluminum to protect from the sun and things, and everybody's windows have dark film on them, so the protect from the sun's rays and stuff. And there is an idea in this that they're going to thin the population.
Oh.
So a thing is put out there that to be patriotic and to be good to your country and celebrated by your family, you should die.
Kill yourself.
And so there's a process for that, and there are little people that come out and they do it. And all sounds really good. There's one problem, and this is, I don't know if it's just the way movies are starting to be written now. There's almost no likable characters in this film. They're all, and there's one they try really hard to make likable. He's like it's a super rich family, and he's the black sheep of the family, and he's a drug recovering addict, and he's got his great relationship and all that. But I don't know if it's something the actor was doing or some weird presence, but I didn't like him either. I really wanted to like these characters, so there was more intensity in what's going on. That being said, it's a really well directed film. It's really interesting. The acting is great. It's just the stakes were lowered a little bit because it was more, I wonder who's might die, as opposed to, man, I hope they don't take this
Right.
character away or something. But still good. I forgot where I watched it. I think it's just a rental right now.
Okay.
Might be on, no, I think it's on Shudder. I think
Oh,
it's on
okay.
Shudder. Because, cross thing, click on it, then I noticed Cronenberg?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. But, so another good director in the family. I don't know. I don't know if he raised them on all of his sets, teaching his kids what he was doing the whole time. But those kids can direct films, man.
Holy shit.
But
Did that have Justin Long in it?
I think so.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
That sounds like the preview I saw for.
Yeah, I definitely saw the trailer for this, and I remember the dad is somebody.
Yeah, it's Jay Bruchel, who
Oh, Jay Baruchel. Yeah. Okay.
It's kind of got a Justin Long thing about him
Yeah.
sometimes. What's his name? Inicio Colantoni, the actor from everything you'd recognize. That guy.
Oh, that
okay.
guy.
He plays
He's
a
the-
major role. He's not the dad, but he plays a pretty major role in it. The dad is somebody also really awesome. Oh, Peter Gallagher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Nice.
But so yeah, it's good cast. They all do great stuff. I just really wanted to root for somebody to survive as opposed to wonder which one they'll pick.
Yeah.
So
Let's see. I think I am going to talk about. I just watched the fairly new Ghost movie, Ghost Right Here, Right Now, the concert film from the band Ghost.
oh, okay, yeah.
I thought this was just going to be a live concert film. And by the way, I like the band Ghost quite a bit, but I've never seen them live, and I don't really know much about them. I've always kind of described them as a heavy metal version of ABBA. They got these big soaring vocals and super catchy choruses and all that stuff. And but if this is what their fucking live show looks like, I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing.
I've heard good things.
It's insanity. But this is not just a live show. There is all of these little segments where in between a song, the leader of the band, who goes by Papa Emeritus or something like that, whatever, Justin or Damien or whatever the guy's name is.
He's a character.
Every name.
He then goes backstage where his sister/mother is there, and he is like doing a costume change, but he'll look at her and she'll be like, shh, and she'll be shaking her head, and he'll be like, oh, sorry. And literally like that, kind of goofy stuff. And then he'll come out and do another song. And then at one point, she's talking to the ghost of his father in the backstage area. None of this makes any sense to any kind of storyline.
Okay.
And I don't really know. I imagine that there's something going on here that Ghost fans really fucking love and get. And there's this mythology that he's built up. I didn't get any of that, but the music was spectacular and the show just looks amazing. I mean, he looked like he was at Wembley Stadium or something. It looked like there were 100,000 people in the audience.
Big band.
And all of the musicians on stage are wearing these very creepy masks, and it doesn't look like they could see at all. I was having a hard time. Finally, our friend Matt Fora explained to me, because he's lots of close shots of him singing, and his mouth is not matching at all. And I was like, oh, is this all lip sync or something? And it kind of sounds like it must be, unless they are that tight of a band that all of their backing vocals and everything sound exactly like the album. But he explained to me that he wears some kind of life latex mask, and so his mouth doesn't actually move to what he's saying. So that explained that part, at least to me.
Weird.
Yeah, and he seems to be having some kind of tiff with his lead guitarist where, the lead guitarist will step in front of him during a solo and he'll be like, what's going on there? And they'll, storm off. And I was like, this is very silly for the satanic imagery that's surrounding it. But I did love the music, and I still love the music. So
is it kind of like Metallica's Through the Never, where so it's not really a story though, it's just other shit going on?
Yes, okay. I did not understand the things that were happening that were not part of the music.
Okay.
So I don't know what it is, but I had a good time with it. It is a rental. It is called Ghost Right Here, Right Now, and of course it's RITE because, satanic rights or something like that. A lot of goofiness, a lot of people taking this guy seriously when it's very clear he is not taking himself very seriously. And so,
Man.
Okay.
Man, just as a quick aside, I had gone to the Halloween Horror Nights last year and did the weekend experience where it's the band The Weeknd, and you go from room to room and there's some kind of story, but I don't know what the fuck it was. And sometimes there's a bunch of women dressed up in nurses costumes with alien faces, in scalpels, and other times he's there's something he's rescuing a woman or the woman wants to kill him. Anyway, it just reminds me of that.
Okay.
Is that the Weeknd, the guy that performed at the Super Bowl?
Correct.
How weird.
Yes.
What an interesting choice for
really
horror.
into horror.
So cool.
So I thought maybe some of his music videos were also horror based, but I haven't seen them, so I can't confirm that. But
his blinding light video sort of has some violence in it, but it's not really horror.
Yeah, this is definitely a mix between the more tense scenes of The Bodyguard meets I don't know, Silent Hill. It's just very weird.
Kevin Costner and
and there's a lot of bugs. I don't know, man. I was very confused. I was cool. I was trying so hard to figure out what the story was. But a completely different note. I had actually managed to see a couple weeks ago the movie Thelma in theaters. Have either of you seen this yet?
No, I haven't, but I've heard amazing things.
Oh man, it's a super low budget movie. It's about old person, and it's one of those stories that's much like The Beekeeper or whatever, where it's a lady gets scammed by something on the internet, but it is so fucking funny and so well executed. You're just watching it going, oh man, this is definitely my mom or grandma or whoever. You're just there's these really intense scenes where at one moment her grandson has to walk her through how to go to a bank's website and exchange funds, but there's like pop-ups, and he has to explain, okay, there should be an X on here somewhere. She's like, I don't see, there's a man now with a life vest. And he's like, okay, so is there an X? No. Okay, it might be hidden, it might not be on the top right, it might be on the bottom left. And there's like this intense music playing at the same time. There's just constant this level of stuff, but it's not like ageism. The characters are very powerful, they're played really well. Like, you never feel bad for them because they're taking control of their lives, but at the same time, it's so realistic to that experience we all have of being like, oh my God, what did you open? You opened the email from the prince. Okay, what, you're in a link right now. It's telling you have to give it money for firmware. All right, hold on. Close the computer. Just close it. Just turn it off. Just close it. So it was actually just a really great little film. I highly recommend it.
Thelma. Is that still just in theaters? Or?
I think it's got to be close to streaming, if not already.
That sounds
Steve
like one I
Hullitz
want to see.
from Bone Bat loved that. He posted quite the review of it. Oh my God.
So fun. It's so fun. And it's one of those movies you do not have to see in theaters. You don't need the big explosive version of it. It's a lot of fun.
The big explosive what?
Version with an S.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I saw one that is Keanu Reeves list kind of thing. Knock Knock.
Oh,
Like
goodness.
Eli Roth.
Oh man, is this
What?
for your 100?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where you get all the weird shit. And Ana de Armas, who went on to be quite famous.
Yeah.
But boy, as much as we all love Keanu and the movies he does well,
Yeah.
this is not the kind of movie he does well.
Not really.
His screams and yellings and all that are like, yeah, this isn't your thing, dude. He starts off great when he's being the good dad and hanging out with the kids and all that, when he's trying not to be the asshole and
Yeah.
sleep with these two girls. I think that's when he's his strongest. When he becomes the guy who did shitty things and is trying to get out of it, that's not his comfort zone for acting. And it was rough.
This was a head scratcher for me, why he would even take this role. This is a remake of a French film that was...
1977 Death Game, which
yeah.
Joe Bob just covered like in his last episode.
Oh.
I was like, oh shit, I wish I would have watched that, but I would go
Yeah,
back.
it's a little slimier, the original.
I would think so.
But this is just like, how did this come across his desk? His agent should have said, you know what, you got a good thing going right now. This is not the kind of movie we want to put you in.
This has to have been before, like, John Wick.
No.
2015.
Really?
Oh, so it was before John Wick.
Yeah, but it was a lot more recent than I thought. It still fits
Yeah.
kind of with where you're going.
Yeah, because
where
I
10 years old already?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Because
Okay.
I definitely was like, oh, like this is before the Keanu-sons? It's before he
Quit
was.
making up words, Vanessa.
It was like he was doing random films, and then.
Well, he there was Bill and Ted, then there was Matrix,
Yeah.
then there was the one with his dog,
John Wick.
John
John
Wick.
Wick. Yeah.
So he keeps having those moments, but this
Yeah.
movie is not one of them.
No, for sure.
I mean-
I did not see it, and I keep thinking, should I?
Yeah. Lorenzo Izzo and Ana de Armas are good.
Yeah.
They are powerhouse acting in this one, and which hurts him even more a little bit.
No.
But I think, I'm definitely going to check out Death Game because, well, it's Eli Roth, so it's really slick and it's really
Yeah.
shallow.
Yeah.
So
Huh. Okay. Well, we just did 2 rounds, didn't we? Why don't we take a
holy
little
shit,
break?
yeah, we did.
Oh man.
And then when we come back, we're going to be talking pool parties.
Excellent.
Barbie dream pool and patio fun.
It's the Barbie Dream Pool with patio furniture. Sun Love and Malibu Barbie dolls sold separately.
Oh, the water's cold. Barbie's gonna shower before she starts dinner.
There's patio furniture to play with.
Dinner's not ready yet. Well then, look out below.
Hey girls, is a room in Barbie's dream pool for me?
Oh, Daddy.
The new Barbie Dream Pool with patio furniture comes with all you see here. Your parents have to put it together. From Mattel.
And we have returned. Vanessa, this was your subgenre pick. You want to tell us what you were thinking?
Yeah, well, I was thinking it's hot as fuck outside.
You don't say.
It's really miserable at all times,
Yeah.
even for those of us who have fans and maybe one air conditioner in our house. It still fucking sucks. And I thought, you know what? I want to watch a movie where it's a pool. I want a pool. I want a nice swimming pool. And I just want to look at it. And that's what I did. So
I'm giving you 10 minutes, and then after this, I'm going to ask you how come you guys haven't installed a pool in your backyard.
dude, the dream. Could happen. So I went with the 2018 film The Pool.
Lucky ไปเลยนะ Lucky เร็ว ไปเอาเร็ว Lucky
ตัวเอง ขอโดดน้ำทีได้ปะ
อย่าโดนก้อย ช่วยด้วย เราติดอยู่ในสระว่ายน้ำ เราอยู่แบบนี้ต่อไปไม่ได้ เราต้องหาทางออก
นี่นิดนึงนะ
คงไม่มีอะไรเลวร้ายไปกว่านี้แล้ว สัตว์ ช่วยด้วย ไม่มีใครติดอยู่ในสระว่ายน้ำจะตายหรอก
แต่ต้องขึ้นไปให้ได้
This has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 97% from critics and 57% from audience. It's a big difference. Written and directed by Ping Lamprop Leong. I am so sorry. This is going to be bad. This is going to be really bad. 24 writing credits, 7 directing credits, and 7 acting credits, but he's known for writing Sap Sanat Sid Soena and the TV series Mue Sading Mat Sing Sefa and Irresistible, starring Thiridej Wangpan as Day.
Sound right.
I'm so sorry.
I feel just slightly redemptive. Just
This
a little.
is so rough, man. This is not my
Yeah,
forte.
those are big names.
Give me German any day. As the character Day, he's been in 19 things, including Subtar 2550, Tuk Niran Juntra, and Rat Phi Fa Mahanater. Also starring Ratnaman Ratchiritham as Koi. Has 2 credits, including this and Overflow Love. Whew. All right. This has a short IMDb. So let me get in the plot. Day is working on a photo shoot as the entire art department at an enormous pool that is about to become derelict. I mean, like Olympic-sized diving pool where somebody might jump off, I don't know, 8 or 10 stories into it. It is a deep, deep dive pool. So he's a little bit spacey as a character. He seems to really have his head in the clouds. He's just not really on top of the ball, and everyone's sort of irritated with him on set. He's often like in the way or not getting props on time. When he has to get his dog ready to do an action shot for the film, or for the photo shoot, I don't fully understand this photo shoot. It's like a girl dressed as a clown under the water in a dress. I don't understand. It's fine. I don't think I meant to. Art. He has to play with the dog and get him all ramped up ahead of time, and they all just sit there going, we'll wait for you to be done playing with your dog. And he's like, oh, he's ready, sorry. He is a loser, a super hot built body loser with great hair. This is the most unbelievable loser guy I think I've ever seen in film. His girlfriend is visiting him on set, and she like wants to jump in the pool and swim around during the middle of the shoot, and he says, no. And she's irritated about it. She also wants to make out with him in like one of the basement rooms, and he's also like, hey, I'm kind of busy. And she's like, well, screw you. She's extremely irritating and shallow, it seems like. And then she jokingly gives him a music box that has a baby inside and asks what he wants to call his child. And she then says, just kidding, I'm not pregnant. The next day, he's cleaning up the props from the pool and getting all his shit out of there. But he's also kind of fooling around. He's got like a floaty in the pool and he's just enjoying himself. His BFF, randomly, whoever this guy is that we are meeting, shows up to get the pool emptied and to start getting all the water out of there while Day is in there. And of course, Day falls asleep in the swimming pool on the floaty while the water is going down. He then wakes up and realizes that the pool is emptied enough that he cannot get out. There also appears to be no ladder. I don't know. I guess in Thailand, they don't have ladders out of the pool. That's fine. This is an enormous pool, like I said. And so while he's trying to get himself out, he, of course, injures himself, and then you can kind of see that he's weighing the risk cost benefit of like, I'll probably figure out how to get out of this. I don't know if I really want to like chuck myself at the wall to get out of this thing right now. I've already fucked up my finger, etc. His dog has been chained up. His friend is going to be out of town for 3 weeks and was like, hey buddy, I'm here to empty the pool. Here's my passport. I'm going to be gone for a long time. Nice seeing you. Bye. So we know that he's going to be of no help. When he tries to reach for his phone, it, of course, falls into the pool and is useless. He then gets back on his floaty and falls back asleep because I guess he's just going to wait it out. His girlfriend arrives to check in on him, and he wakes up to see her just as she's about to jump in. He shouts at her to stop, which causes her to slip and hit her head and fall into the pool. He, of course, rescues her, gets her on the floaty, but at the same time, his dog is getting into a fight with a crocodile. The crocodile also falls in the pool. Luckily, the crocodile is like, I'm just going to go to the bottom and hang out. I'm just going to sit here and have a nice snooze. So we don't have to worry about the crocodile yet. But once the pool is empty out, Day discovers that his girlfriend has in her pocket a positive pregnancy test. She was not kidding. So now he must try to survive, plus keep her alive, plus there's no help, there's no food, there's no phone, there's only water when it rains, and there's the constant threat of the crocodile in the pool with them. That's the film. So this has a truly awful CGI crocodile.
Oh, shit.
He is no good. Every time it faces towards his mouth and it opens his mouth and you see the inside of his mouth, you're like, I don't know, man. This does not like the inside of anything I've ever seen in my entire life, but okay. It's pretty bad. However, despite that, it is continuously suspenseful. It constantly ramps up the stress levers. You always see that there's a moment to potentially escape, and it is irritatingly cut off, but it always feels really realistic, like that phone. Like at first he can't get to it because it like falls, but it's still connected to its charger. So then when he grabs it, it like dunks right in and you're like, ah, damn it. You know, there's just a lot of things like that. His friend had ordered a pizza for him on his way out, but when the pizza guy arrives to the swimming pool, he's down at the bottom because he was trying to cover up the grate that's emptying the water out with like a big piece of cloth. And so then he sees the guy up there and tries to swim up, but his wallet chain gets stuck because he's the only man still alive wearing a wallet chain. He gets stuck to the bottom of the pool and he has to like unclip it. And by the time he gets out to yell help, the guy started his really noisy motorbike. So there's just constantly these little things happening where it's close but not quite, and it's stressful enough. Nothing's realistic. You cannot watch this film and go, but that wouldn't happen in real life. No, it fucking wouldn't. Why are you watching this movie? Get the fuck over it. All right. I do also like the crocodile is not a big threat in this movie, which is kind of cool. He's super well matched. In a lot of films you get nowadays, you have like, I don't know, cocaine bear, right? Where it's just like a monster that is so out of control that you can't even look at it without dying. With this crocodile, he just like hits it on the head with a bucket sometimes, and the croc's like, oh, fuck you. I'm going to go over here, I guess.
Seems about right.
Yeah, like it feels really well matched. Like you can see as time goes by and days go by that they're both kind of getting weaker, and the crocodile's trying to take advantage of the moments where he's asleep, but then he'll like wake up and like, you know, punch it in the face. Like there's really, it feels like a really nice stressor where it's just not the constant thing he's worried about, or not the biggest thing he's always worried about, but it is always there. You know, I like the ways that he ends up trying to survive the pizza. The dog ends up dropping some of it into the pool, and so he can feed it to his girlfriend and himself. The crocodile at one point lays some eggs, so he like gets the crocodile out of the way and manages to get the eggs and then to eat them. So like there's these kind of cool little things that keep the movie going that work. It is also horrible though. The ending is so stupid. I think this is like a Thai thing, but it ends with them like kissing in the rain, holding each other, and then we cut to illustrations of like moments from the film that are like shot from the film becomes an illustrated image. Shot from the film. Sure. It's like a really bad Photoshop effect. It's just really, really fucking silly. I also think it's incredibly poorly translated. There are a lot of moments in this where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they're trying to say. At one point, there's a lot of talk about abortion, which is very confusing, and I guess it's super illegal in Thailand. But like, I was like, are they trying to say he like made her have an abortion by saying he wanted her to have an abortion and she had an abortion, but she didn't know it? No. But the translation is very confusing. And this film will make a lot of people mad because someone in this film doesn't survive, and it will piss many, many people off.
Dun, dun, dun.
Trivia. Oh shit, man. It is free streaming on Shudder.
Sounds like you have seen this one, Kelly.
I have.
Oh, okay.
I like this film.
Yeah.
I thought the crocodile looked fine until he opened his mouth.
Yes,
and
he
then
was
it was
okay.
like,
and then
I was like, you guys have a good CGI model of a crocodile, but nobody has CGI'd a mouth for the crocodile.
I was super wondering if they just had a crocodile and then occasionally had to have like a CGI piece of it now and again.
Yeah.
Because it really did feel like a lot of times when the croc was like sitting on the far end or like kind of walking around, it felt okay.
Yeah.
But then there were moments where like its paws didn't attach to the bottom of the pool and its mouth would open. You're like, or like a close up of his eye. Like there were points where you're like, this is awful. Yeah. But then other points where it's weirdly perfect. So I don't know. I do wonder if they just got across. But the problem is there's nothing online about this.
Yeah.
There's nothing out there.
Oh, wow.
So.
Did you have any trivia that you thought was worth talking about?
I was the only thing I found were some Amazon reviews.
Oh.
So we got 6 out of 10 from Chin and Chin. It's so stupid, but somehow so entertaining. It's so fake CG, but somehow you didn't care anymore. Everything was so lousy, but you just can't stop and had to finish watching. It's a very low budget film, and the directors just didn't care if anything makes sense or not, which made the story so crazy, so dramatic, basically limitless, unreal in a good way. So much fun from start to finish. It could be even better if you take some weed beforehand. Seriously! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! And then 1 out of 10 from O'Broughton. This movie is awful and made my mother cry. So, there you go. That's all I got.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you could do a lot worse than this movie if you're just sitting around looking for something to watch.
Absolutely. I think that this is a fun, entertaining, dumb movie. It is exactly what it says on the tin. You're not going to get anything more out of this movie. It's going to be a man trapped in a pool with a crocodile.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I like me a crocodile movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's some good ones.
You know the difference between an alligator and a crocodile.
I do now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait. Go on. What's the difference?
I would like to hear it.
Well, the crocodiles are different. Go on.
Sorry, what?
Well, you will see a crocodile in a while, but I say this joke every time a fucking crocodile movie comes up, and you fall for it.
I want to hear you. I want to hear it. It's fun.
You see ever see the safety tip of alligators in Louisiana?
No.
Mm-mm.
How to know if you've got an alligator in this pool you want to go into.
Mm-hmm.
She walks down, she goes down. Okay, put your hand in the water, pull your hand up. Is it wet? There's an alligator in there.
Oh,
good. It's truly good.
Well, I will take this next if you don't mind, Eric.
Oh yeah, dive in.
Because I am talking about a real turd
Excellent.
called Margot.
Whoa! Damn it, Drew! Get out of here, man! Okay, I'm not looking.
Okay, that is new. Glad you guys are still finding ways to spice things up. We're leaving in 5, okay?
These are the amazing people I'm going to be spending the break with. Group shot.
I kind of wanted to save the surprise, but whatever, I'll tell you guys now. It's a smart house, so I'll send you guys the link. Okay, let's do this. Now you guys are excited. Told you I'd come through.
Wow.
Andrew Collins. You go by Drew, right? Welcome home. I've been designed and programmed to cater to your every need.
So she's like the house, or what?
Most people just call me Margot.
Kidding?
Now go explore.
This is amazing!
Come along into my paradise. I have quite the weekend in store for you. What is this? This entire place is one gigantic 3D printer.
Don't tell me you can't handle this.
Did you hear that?
This is something I've been working on for a long time.
Margot!
Get me out of these!
Can't move. I've never seen AI this advanced.
What the hell did you do to them?
And I can't wait to show you what else I have removed.
We gotta get out of this house.
Who wants to party?
Margot, stop!
But we haven't reached the climax yet.
Polo. Sorry.
From the year 2022, no budget, no box office, because it is a Paramount Plus movie.
Oh.
Rotten Tomato critics give it 56%, and the audience gives it 27%. I am on the audience's side on this one. Directed by Stephen C. Miller, who has 21 credits, including Under the Bed, Extraction, First Kill, and Line of Duty. And written by Chris Beirut, Nick Waters, and Chris Silverstone, who have done movies such as Shelter in Place, The Red Book Ritual, and Savage Salvation. With Madison Pettis, who has 47 credits, including Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3, American Pie Presents Girls Rules,
Oh my God.
and He's All That. Also starring Vanessa Morgan, who has 21 credits, mostly TV, 26 episodes of My Babysitter's a Vampire, and 27 episodes of Finding Carter, and 99 episodes of Riverdale. And also in this is Jedediah Goodacre, who has 32 credits, mostly TV, episodes of The Originals, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and The Descendants. Sorry. In this movie is also Phoebe Miv, Jordan Buhat, and Richard Harmon. Have you guys heard of Margot?
I don't think so.
No.
Wow. This film opens with a middle-aged couple getting ready for a lovely evening in what I assumed was their own house, but which turns out to be a fancy Airbnb, I think.
Oh.
Still can't tell. Anyway, the wife is smoking hot and in a little robe, and she's getting makeup on and all of that stuff. And the husband is Lachlan Monroe. And you're like, who the fuck is Lachlan Monroe? I can't tell you what you know him from, but he's in every goddamn movie ever.
Oh, man.
So that kind of fooled me that I was in for a good movie, because I was like, oh, I know this guy. All right. He's just had a swim in the lovely but skinny outdoor swimming pool. I understood the assignment.
Excellent.
And then he dries off and he sits in this high-tech massage chair. This is the kind of chair that clamps onto your wrists and your ankles, and then it starts kneading your neck and all of this stuff. If you've ever sat in one of these, they are very relaxing, very cool. Yes. We also find out that the house goes by the name of Margot.
Oh.
She is a smart house.
Oh.
That is her wake word as well. Instead of saying, Alexa, play my favorite music, you would say, Margot, play my favorite music. Well, the dude gets in the massage chair running, and pretty quick it's massaging him too tight, and he's locked in, basically. So he's telling Margot to shut it down, but instead the chair is tightening tighter and tighter on him. Meanwhile, his wife is all sexed up and wondering why he won't answer her, so she comes out and finds him in the chair, alive, but very bloody and in a lot of pain, and she can't get the chair to stop working. When she tries to unplug it, she is zapped by electricity and thrown across the room, and finally has to watch her husband's head explode from the massage chair.
Oh, my.
This is the cold open of this film.
Oh, my gosh.
Jesus.
Next, we meet our protagonists, who are all a bunch of very good-looking and diverse college students who are all best friends and heading out to spend a weekend at a smart house where they will relax and swim and drink and party. One of the friends is an internet influencer, and she is annoying as fuck as she records her messages to all of her followers. But do not be fooled. All of these people are annoying as fuck in the way only young college kids in horror movies can be.
Excellent.
There are a couple of young couples and the requisite stoner dude. In fact, the only way to enjoy this movie probably is to slot these personality types into those showcased in the movie Cabin in the Woods and assume that this is the latest sacrifice that has to be made to appease the horror movie gods. The first half of Act 2 of a screenplay is often called fun and games, and that's what happens here, as the kids all marvel at the various things Margot can do. But quite honestly, she can do way too fucking much, and the movie starts falling apart very quickly. For example, she has mechanical tentacles that can form out of this liquid metal stuff that is in various areas of the house. So you know that's going to come into play. She also has the ability to make perfect replicas of the kids out of this metal. And that's pretty cool, but nobody at all is freaking out like they should be that the house can basically clone them. Like, what the fuck? This is amazing, right? Kids these fucking days. Margot also has a gigantic room that basically works as the holodeck from the Starship Enterprise.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And, okay, here's my notes. Fuck, I don't even want to talk about this movie. It turns out that Margot wants to be more human than human, and in doing so has taken on a psychopathic mindset, dubbing herself the first AI serial killer. Shenanigans ensue. This movie sucks. Instead, I will tell you about a film idea that I pitched to our good friend Wade Chitwood a couple years ago about an agoraphobic woman who moves into a brand new smart condo building.
You go.
And my idea was similar to this, in that the building can cook for you, can send your emails, notes, and videos, order your groceries, stuff like that. Realistic stuff, you know? It also works as an AI psychiatrist that you can talk to and gives you stock advice and basic therapy, much like we're seeing happen with these AI chatbots and stuff like this. And I thought it would be cool to have a line that followed along all the ceiling, and so when you talk to her, it would light up like your Echo does and all that stuff. But in my story, her condo starts having a mental breakdown, basically, and starts abusing her using videos and audio that's already been recorded. She's able to fake messages to her family to let them know that all is well and she loves it at her new place. And meanwhile, the condo is torturing her with the heat on high constantly and mentally abusing her and shit like that, and it won't let her escape. And I thought, you know, the whole idea that here's this woman who's afraid to go outside and she has to fight now to get outside. I thought, this is a good idea. Wade liked it. We thought it would make a neat little contained indie film. And that was when I decided to stop writing screenplays.
Wade liked this? Fuck, I'm out.
I guess my career is done.
Anyway, when I saw this movie, I really hoped it was going to go in that kind of direction, but instead it turns into this really stupid, unbelievable slasher film that makes absolutely zero sense. Do not waste your fucking time on this film.
Damn.
Tagline, welcome home. I'm also pissed because this was the tagline of my pitch to Wade.
Oh, no.
Trivia. The voice of Margot is done by Susan Bennett, who is the original voice of Siri.
Oh, shit.
That's
That
cool.
must have sounded... What a waste. You get that totally recognizable voice. Well, okay.
Because in this movie, she decides that she's going to be hip and cool with these kids. And she's like, yeah, don't worry, bitches, I got you, and shit like that. And meanwhile, she's cloning perfect replicas, and they're all like, wow, that's cool. Nobody's like, holy fuck, is this the most amazing technology ever made? No, they're just not impressed at all.
They're I did not. How much did we spend on this Airbnb?
Right.
Wow, what an extra.
I've got 4 minutes left, and fuck it.
Sure.
You're welcome, but I did not talk for 4 more minutes about this turd.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Margaux. Avoid it at all costs. Eric,
Wow.
10 minutos.
Mine's a little more recent because it's this year.
Oh, sure.
Keep going.
Okay.
I got you.
Thank you. Night Swim.
It needs a little work, but I don't think it's going to last long at this price.
There's a pool. Always wanted a pool. Is this everything?
We'll grow into it.
Y'all ready? Marco.
Hello. Marco.
Hello.
Marco. I hear you. You need to say something back. Ronan, Marco. Marco. I can hear you. Why aren't you saying anything? Ronan, you're dead. Marco.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes of 20 from the critics and 43 from the crowd.
Okay.
We'll see where I land by the time we're done. $22 million budget, which I was like, wow, I didn't realize they were doing those kind of budgets now at Blumhouse. But hey, they got it back, $54 million in things. So this is available on Peacock if you have that or for rent. Directed by Bryce McGuire. This is his first feature after doing a bunch of shorts. This is based on his short film. So I went and I watched the original short film. And it's pretty good. But it's like 3.5 minutes long.
Sure.
So you're kind of going, all right, well, we'll see how we can make a feature out of this one. Hey, Kelly, write a feature for the connoisseur.
Oh, no.
No problem.
The writer is also Bryce McGuire, who wrote Every House is Haunted and a few other shorts. Rod Blockhurst, Hysterica, Stoned Debates. So that sounds interesting. I'm not sure if it's literally what it means, but all right. And he wrote a Tribeca Award-winning film called Here Alone. Acting Wyatt Russell, Under the Banner of Heaven, This Falcon and the Snowman, Overlord, We Are, Soldier, very recognizable actor, been around for a while. Kerry Condon, Better Call Saul, Avengers movies, Room 22, Rome, 22 episodes. Amelia Hofeller, The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, a bunch of shorts. Like I said, before I watched this, I watched the short. Thought it was fun, engaging, good. Is this going to be like Lights Out? Was it Lights Out? Yeah, with a 2 or 3 minute short they made into a feature. And like, no, sorry, that was a great short. The opening is sort of a remake of the short film, but not really. It takes it in a different direction, which, probably is for the storyline. But it's the setup of a haunted pool, basically. It's not the family that stays there. But hey, then we get to meet the family that's going to be living in the house with the creepy swimming pool. Hey, this guy's a famous third baseman baseball player who's recovering from an injury and possibly a degenerative health problem. She's a teacher who's learning to teach special education kids. These are good folk. Then I found out he played third base for the Brewers, so he's sort of a major league baseball player. And I can say that because I'm a fan of the fucking Mariners. So the family is friendly and kind of likable. And like the movie I talked about earlier with Humane, where it's like, okay, I could see not wanting these people to get destroyed and killed. They do a nice job of kind of explaining why the pool is a problem with the natural water feed, which I didn't realize you could do with a pool. Can you actually have a natural? Because then you got to still chlorine it, and So, but anyways, it sounds good on a movie. The mom goes for a night swim later on, and shit starts to happen, kind of like it did in the beginning. Hey, and what's she do? Gets out of the pool.
Smart.
Goes inside and says, "We need to check out our pool." Like, yeah, that's what you should do when the lights start flashing in your pool and things are looking weird. But what's happening is the husband starts to swim. His disease disappears. He starts to heal, getting better. And apparently the night thing now attacks during the day for no given reason, which is weird in a movie called Night Swims.
Very confusing.
And then you find out the pool apparently can affect things long away because he goes to his son's baseball practice, and the coach there, of course, hey, take a few swings for us, will you? And his first couple of swings are really bad because he hasn't played in a long time, and he strikes out. But the third one, he hits the ball so hard he knocks the cover off.
Whoa! And
the son of the coach finds the ball later and wants him to sign it, and he's like, "What? Huh?" Like, okay, yeah, that would be pretty impressive. So I'm watching this going, so I read nothing about the movie before I watched it, of course. So the inspiration, are we going for The Shining or Amityville Horror here? Mm-hmm. There's very strong notes of both, but I'm pretty sure it's... A lot of people lean towards Amityville in the online, but I'm like, well, he's not really... Until the end, and then it's sort of, so me hit more like The Shining, where a guy goes crazy because of what's going on, and then by the end he starts to attack his family, as opposed to that's sort of the whole story of Amityville Horror from the beginning. But it's got both. There's definitely Amityville Horror feel to a lot of the stuff going on. I think what would have helped this movie a lot if they'd gone to the evil creature creators and gone, hey, can you make a creature for us?
Ooh, yeah.
They need to do one or two decisions, I think, on this. One, if you're going to have a creature, make it look good. That creature literally got a laugh out of me when it first popped up in its first scare. I was like, what? Or if you don't have the guys from Evil, or the crew from Evil that makes those ridiculously cool demons, make it a ghost. Make it more of a haunt. Don't have a creature. You've got the goof swimming around. You've got moments where things happen that look like a ghost kind of thing is doing it, so because nothing's touching anything. Lean into one of those, and I think it would have helped this movie a lot. But now we've reached the point of the movie where it's time to look into the history. So mom goes out and starts talking to people that lived here before. She talks to the woman who was the pool beginning, the opening scene. And maybe it's because everybody told me this movie sucks. I didn't hate it. I think I largely didn't because I'd kind of been wanting to watch a kind of casual, silly little horror film. And this is that. And I latched on to the family for some reason. Like, I just really like these people. Could be because I seem to have watched a shit ton of movies recently where they're just asshole characters in the whole film. I want to like the characters. So I enjoyed this one a fair amount. The tagline, everything you fear is under the surface. Not terrible, not great. But the little things like the real life house location didn't have the garage attached to, so they had to kind of build the garage for a couple of the scenes. It's kind of a weird looking house, a little odd looking, and it's a little odd looking. The school attend to is Harold Holt. Holt was an Australian prime minister who was an avid swimmer and disappeared and presumably died while swimming in the ocean.
Oh.
So they named their school after him. Wyatt Russell. You might know his dad, Kurt Russell. He actually was a very good minor league baseball player and was slated to maybe make it to Major League Baseball, but then he got an injury that sidelined his career. So, I'm okay with what I watched. I know a lot of people have hated on this film, and with good reason. It's a Blumhouse. It's got a lot of the Blumhouse problems, but just worked for me. I will never watch it again because I know if I watch it again, I'm going to go, what the fuck, man? What was wrong with you?
Yeah, I saw this when it first came out, and I thought I was really unhappy with it until the third act when it goes into The Shining, and I was like, oh, I did not see this happening. I kind of liked that part of it. Yeah. I think that yes, the creature was a bad idea. I don't know why it couldn't just have been an evil. They talk about basically it's the fucking Indian burial ground type story. Right. The Indians knew that this space was not good. Yeah. And I was like, that's all we need. We don't need a monster. Yeah. This is just a bad place, right? Yeah. It worked a lot better until that, especially they did the jump scare moment, and it really did literally go there. Yeah, I wonder if that was the studio saying, "Hey, I think we need a monster in this."
Could be because the short film is pure atmosphere.
Yeah,
there's nothing given away as to what's going on, and it's really, really well done. So I'll look forward to whatever Bryce McGuire does next, because I think there's some talent there as Blumhouse starts to take over for Corman and finding talent.
Yeah. Okay. Well, pool parties. Thanks, Vanessa.
You're welcome anytime.
Okay.
I'm glad you're okay because you have the next choice, Eric.
Ooh.
Sticking with haunted things or haunted ideas, let's do something with a Ouija board or a witch board or some version of a summoning device.
Oh, okay.
So.
Summoning device.
I like this idea.
Cool.
All right. Okay, so that brings us to the part where we say thanks to everybody who's out there liking, sharing posts, and is on the Strange Eons Radio Talk page, who calls in on the Strange Eons Radio hotline, which is 253-237-4266, and especially to everybody who's out there participating in the value for value model, which is if you get a little value out of this, you give a little value back. For a lot of people, that's donating cash, which is lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that.
And, since we're doing well on YouTube, like and subscribe. So I think I have to say that.
Right. And comment on
bell.
YouTube.
Yes.
That apparently helps a lot. Okay, guys, I've got a book out. It's called The Secret Language of Spiders. You can get it on Amazon, or you can reach out to me somehow on the Strange Eons Radio Talk page, on my own page, whatever, and order it from me. I will autograph it. That's it. We'll be back in 7 short days. We are talking
Ouija.
Something.
Yeah. Summoning boards. Objects. I like that idea. All right. See you next Thursday. Transportation and other considerations for Strange Eons Radio produced by Pan Am Airlines. When you think of traveling, think of Pan Am. You can't beat the experience. Guests of Strange Eons Radio stay at Econo Lodge Everett. It's an easy stop on the road, if you know what we mean. Strange Eons Radio is recorded live in front of a studio audience. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a positive review on your favorite podcast app. Sit, Ubu, sit.
I want to hear you. I want to hear it. It's fun.